We don't have the luxury of bringing our personal lives into work. Dr. Matisse taught this lesson to us early. He said, I don't care what's going on in your personal life. He said, I do. But when you step into the emergency department, I don't care. You leave whatever has gone on, you leave that at the door. And I heard him teach that lesson, and I thought, yeah, that's what we do. We leave it at the door. No problem. No problem. We can do that. Then my grandma died. While I was on shift. She didn't die while I was on shift. She fell down a flight of stairs, and they found her at the bottom of the stairs. My grandpa found her at the bottom of the stairs, and she'd been there all night long. One of my favorite people on the planet. And she was so healthy. She was 89 and so spry, and her mind was so alert. And she'd had shingles. That was basically the only thing she'd ever had wrong with her. I was expecting her to live another 10 years. I was supposed to be her doctor when I finished. I was supposed to take care of her, and I was supposed to keep her from dying. And I got a text from my dad, and I had about 4 hours left in the shift. And it said, Morgan, I hate to tell you this, but your grandma took a fall down the flight of stairs, and she's had a lot of bleeding in her brain. She has a skull fracture. She's been intubated. She's on a ventilator. She has a clavicle fracture and a humerus fracture and a pelvic fracture. She took a bad fall, and they don't think she's going to make it. And I got that news with about 4 hours left in my shift. And in those next 4 hours, I had a STEMI, I had a massive GI bleed, and I had a super septic little kid come in those next 4 hours. And I didn't cry. I'm not much of a crier. I didn't cry at that moment. For those next 4 hours, I couldn't stop thinking about that lesson. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I said, okay, I've got to leave this at the door. And it took everything in me to put that at the door and focus and say, okay, I will mourn her in 4 hours. I'll mourn her. But for right now, I got to work. And for those next 4 hours, I saw those patients. And I don't know that I gave them the best care possible. It was hard for me. But I kept seeing patients. I kept doing my job. If Dr. Matisse hadn't taken us aside and told us to do this, I probably would have gone to my attending at that moment and said, I got to go. My favorite person is about to die. I got to go. But we're ER doctors. Nobody's there to back us up. Nobody's there. When somebody comes in, most of the time when they show up, this is the emergency of their life. And they're expecting you to be their ER doctor.